MySims is a game that needs no introduction. Actually, probably does need a little bit. So the game came out in 2007 and was a spin-off of The Sims created for the Wii. Due to the Wii's massive success, MySims sold 4 million copies by 2008. Though, money aside, over the years it has come to be defined by its reputation in a few camps of people. You have the group who got fed MySims slander from the original MySims hater, PBG. Others who played the game when they were kids, loved it, and now have intense nostalgia for the game. And this last group are those who saw it for the game it could be. A game defined by speed. MySims speedruns are split into 5 categories, one for each star level in the game from 1 to 5. However, the only real active board is the 1-star run, which has tons of runs in each platform the game has been released on. Like, we even got someone running the Windows Phone version of MySims. Though with the obvious tell I had coughing before each lie, there's not exactly tons of runs because the leaderboard for each category can fit on one page. And my saying running in the present tense is a stretch, because if you were paying close attention to the part of the leaderboard I cut off, all these runs are many years old, but don't worry, the re-release of the original MySims reignited the fire for running the game, with the category for the Switch version having a single run done 8 months ago. That's irrelevant though, because an inactive player base for a speed game isn't a big deal if the run is good. And to even attempt to explain this video's title, we need to know the run. So what's the actual run like? A run in the most active MySims category, 1 star, is a simple run around 6 or 7 minutes long, starting with a 3-minute tutorial that takes up majority of the run time. Though this tutorial pretty much defines the run, with 5 moments/tricks that impact the run either minorly by saving a few seconds, or majorly by instantly ending the run. These have come to be known as buddy split, floating door, apple, platypus chair, and bed transfer, and I'll quickly explain them in the order they appear. The first major section of the run is Buddy Split, where you hit the split button on your timer exactly when Buddy falls after the initial cutscene and talk with Rosalind. This is of vital importance, because in that initial talk with Rosalind, you can lose time depending on your positioning and how that affects Rosalind's exit of the building, since you can't leave before her since your character is a prim and proper gentleman. Floating door is right after Buddy falls and is performed by building your house as fast as humanly possible. You do this first by closing every building tutorial text box as fast as possible, then placing a house block as fast as possible, and placing the door as soon as it will allow the player by pressing enter. This will place the door and finish the house at the same time, which when done properly causes a massive door disjoint as fast as possible that signifies you built the house as fast as possible and shortens the future cutscenes slightly, I think. The apple section seems easy from the outset. All you do is simply run up the 2 apple trees and 1 yellow blossom tree and fertilize them all, collecting the essences they drop in the process. However, you need specifically 10 red apples at Rosalind's request, which these apples drop in sets of random, so if you get a bad apple and get less than 10 apples, the time loss that incurs ends the run, just like how most relationships end by being ghosted by Apple because you have an Android. The last 2 are very interconnected. Platypus chair is the method of creating your first required furniture piece instantly. This is done by grabbing the 5x5 slab, moving your cursor above the line, and spam clicking until the item is done, which, if done in a specific way, kinda looks like a platypus. And after Rosalind forces you to put this platypus chair into your home, we reach bed transfer, which is just transferring your character's pre-made bed into your inventory right after placing your chair. This strat, unlike the other parts of the run, have some history and was first used in runs by, I am gonna assume, this homie named Plink, which has one of the first runs I could find with this strategy utilized. And yeah, technically 2 people named Dartheory4 and the JJ have runs with this strategy before Plink posted his run, but since Plink has an older account than both of them and is a moderator for MySims speedruns, I'ma bet he created the method, or at least was there at its inception. Also, they might have deleted their older runs due to them achieving better times, which is probably the most logical explanation I could have made, and I was probably coping with the other reasons, to be honest. But now that that tutorial is over, there are only 3 tasks remaining to complete the run: creating a podium for Rosalind, and creating both a flower stand and a bed for Poppy. There's honestly not much to say for these final parts of the run other than you get the tasks from Rosalind and Poppy, then just spam the 5x5 slabs and essences required until you hit each glowing orb. But for the flower stand, you add 2 happy essences, which you get from being nice to either Poppy or Rosalind, which does have a chance to not drop depending on your nice animation, which is kind of annoying. It's another RNG element, but you know, we love RNG, we love RNG. Then for the bed, you actually skip grabbing the task from Poppy and just add 2 yellow blossom essences you collected earlier to the bed you transferred into your inventory, which you're transferring to Poppy's house, which skips getting that task from her, which completes the task line, which awards you with a 1-star town, which ends the run, which ends this run on sentence. Which means I now have to come clean. By making this video, you may have been expecting a non-biased run analysis, ending with me finally explaining why the runs will never be the same, like the title asks. And unfortunately, what you actually are getting is a biased run analysis with an evil explanation on why runs will never be the same. That reason being, remember that re-release of the game that came out I mentioned earlier? That was originally on the Switch only, and recently it came to PC. And of course, since load times are faster, I decided to abuse that fact to get the world record. Yeah, I might have created some strategies that might be faster, no matter the platform, but that's besides the point. Now that I stole the world record and am its holder in the MySims 1-star category, what I say goes when it comes to MySims. Remember when I talked about Buddy Split? That doesn't even exist. I made that up solely to sound smart. Oh, and you remember Floating Door and Platypus Chair? Those strategies don't exist either. I also made them up. So yeah, maybe the Apple section RNG complaints and the bed transfer ones have always been written into the MySims speedrunning community's history, but the rest are now forcefully being added purely due to my ego and narcissism because, lo and behold, since I now have control of the world record, I now have control of the game itself, and can hold my world record above the community's heads to force these changes onto them. And since you're watching this video, that means my agenda is now spreading, because who in the MySims speedrunning community even has a platform to challenge what I say or spread to the masses? The super mod for the community has more followers than me on Twitch, and they're pretty close to my sub count on YouTube. So I guess they could challenge my claims. Let's rephrase that for the MySims speedrunning community then. I really hope the MySims community going forward will analyze my new strategies I used in my world record and will let me know if I did anything wrong. If anyone decides to pursue my world record, I wish you luck. I really tried hard on creating all these new strategies and ideas for the run, so please consider using them if you guys ever come back to running the game in the future. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of this community. So yeah, MySims speedruns have been changed forever, and so have I, because clearly no one should have acted in pure hubris as I did today. Moral of the story, don't get an ego, even though you have the MySims world record, and are kind of a big deal if you think about it. Though my run's not even verified, so I guess I burned bridges, then rebuilt those bridges with the MySims speedrunning community for nothing. But, you know, they're verifying it, they're on it. But yeah, thank you Luca and Stevie John for the memberships. And if you enjoyed the video, you know what to do.